Okay, we're good to go.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the September 18th, 2023 meeting of the Whatcom County Fire Protection District 4 Board of Commissioners. So I will call this meeting to order and we can do roll call real quick. I'm Steve Cooley, Commissioner.
Tim Johnson, Commissioner.
Mark Land, Commissioner.
And Jason Vanderveen.
Okay, moving on to public comment period. Chief, do we have anybody waiting for the public comment period?
No, sir.
Okay, so we will simultaneously open and then close the public comment period. Moving on to the next agenda item, which is the approval of the consent agenda. All matters within the consent agenda have been distributed to each member of the Board of Commissioners for review, are considered routine, and will be enacted by one motion of the board with no separate discussion. If a separate discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda by request. And our consent agenda today includes the meeting minutes from our meeting on October 14th, staff reports from the chief and his people, financial reports, voucher payroll and benefits, including a direct deposit payroll of $640 and monthly expenditure voucher of $627,229.75. The expense fund revenue as of August was $20,591.89, and our total expenditures for September are $628,589.75. That is what is on the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to have those move, any of those items moved to the regular agenda for discussion? Nobody?
No.
Okay, I see a lot of shaking heads, so I will entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I'd move to approve the consent agenda.
I will second that motion.
Motion from Commissioner Land, seconded by Commissioner Johnson. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, consent agenda is approved unanimously, and that moves us on to our next item, which is unfinished business, the contract for services extension with District 21 or North Whatcom. Just so you guys know, I don't know if the chief has talked to you individually. The chief and I met with the chairman of the District 21 board, Bruce Ansell, and had some discussions about this issue as well as the new business that's coming up as well. So chief, remind me where we are on the contract extension.
Well, this was supposed to be the month where I had a contract extension for you. After the meeting between the two board chairs, we decided to come to the two boards and give them an update about what I wrote about in my chief's report, which is this annexation that apparently is moving forward. So the Northern Heights area to be annexed by the city of Bellingham. It was suffice to say, can I just, Commissioner Cooley, can I just combine annexation and okay, thank you.
Absolutely, I think that'd be right.
I'm going to straddle
Yes.
unfinished and new business here. We were a little surprised to find out about a public meeting that was held at Station 12. It was posted in the Northern Heights area. We did not receive any mailer or anything from the city, or it actually wouldn't have come from the city. It would have come from Geyer and Associates, I believe, is where the mailer would have come from. Anyway, some nice folks that live in District 4 stopped by the station and showed one of the lieutenants about the sign that had been posted in the Northern Heights area about an annexation meeting. So I attended that meeting, and yeah, it appears that on the heels of the vote to raise the levied lid lift, some landowners in the area to be annexed are moving forward with a long proposed annexation. This was first proposed, to the best of my knowledge, in 2019. It's been in Bellingham's annexation strategy. There was no discussion of this prior with me, or I believe with any of you, it's been something that's been on the city of Bellingham's. It's been marked in their annexation strategy, but even their that publication talks about how there's really no interest by the property owners to annex. What the problem is that area, when it was developed back in the 90s, the city extended water and sewer to that area with the trade. That's the best word I have for it, being that we will extend water and sewer if you put no contest or no protest clauses on all these properties in Northern Heights. So when those properties were purchased initially, and that lasts for the life of the property, so I guess it's in perpetuity, those no protest clauses are in effect. They have 65% no protest clause, and the way annexation works in the state of Washington is they have to put out a petition. People either sign yay or nay on that petition, with the one exception being if you have no protest clauses, those can be set in place of a petition. So that's going to happen. It's going to take a couple of years. There's not anything we need to do immediately. My concern is, and I'm going to share my screen with you really quick here to show you kind of some of the annexation areas. So if you can all see my screen here, where my mouse pointer is this number 11, and that is the Northern Heights area. There's an orangish area here that's already been annexed by the city. This document's from 2019, but they split this off, this end here to the west, and annexed that already. That's what's across from the fire station. So the area we're talking about today is this tan area in number 11. And this little box that bumps out just across Britton Road, that's all included in number 11. It's about 200 acres. Not enough to force the city to take over District 4. The question, it was asked by a citizen at the meeting, is what about this area here, number 12, Tweed 20? And in the state of Washington, there is, to the best of my understanding, if a city or municipality annexes on or has property on 3 sides, as Bellingham will after this annexation is complete, they can draw this 4th line, which is just down Britton Road here, and annex in Tweed 20. Now, the city planners that were at this meeting maintain that that's not going to happen anytime soon, but wouldn't say it's never going to happen. And what does not anytime soon mean? Not anytime soon apparently means 6 weeks after an election, where we in our best effort and with the best information we had asked the voters to save District 4, and now Bellingham, and I'll say it, by nature of the auto aid agreement, is going to provide fire and EMS to the area number 11 under the auto aid agreement. So they're going to annex this area, but they're not going to expand any services. They're going to rely on District 4 and North Whatcom to provide those services. So the question goes back to Tweed 20, if not, what does not the immediate future mean? And so we thought that when Commissioner Cooley, Commissioner Ansel, and myself got together, we thought, let's check out our legal options. We also need to get on the stick with Liz Loomis and send out some sort of PR release about this. We didn't know. We have no documents to show coming from either Geyer and Associates or the City of Bellingham that this was, on the table. It's disappointing, to say the least. To me, I'm a little embarrassed, frankly, for both myself and Commissioner Cooley. We went out there, put our faces on this thing, and now kind of feel like we're getting taken advantage of. But I did check with, I talked to Eric Quinn, and I've sent him some documents that pertain to this. He's going to look over those. What happens next is that these landowners will submit their petition for annexation to the city, and the city will go before city council, and they'll either accept it or reject it. The prevailing wisdom is that they'll accept it. They could potentially ask for 320 to be included in that, but that is not expected to happen. After that, there's a series of legal stuff that has to happen. One of those things is we being District 4 will go to the Boundary Review Board and be able to, that's where we discuss mitigation. What this does, because the city of Bellingham will be taking in the tax revenue from that area upon the annexation, and District 4 loses out on that. It still has to provide the same level of service to that area and everywhere else. The city of Bellingham will have to mitigate that impact by paying District 4. That only lasts for 3 years. And the idea of that is to kind of wean the district off those funds. But as I said, we're still really going to be providing that service. So I don't want to say too much without Mr. Quinn, kind of providing me a good script, but something doesn't feel right about that. And we need to, before we react or respond, we need him to tell us what's legal and how we can best do this. Both boards, Commissioner Ansel, Commissioner Cooley, correct me if I'm wrong, he's as frustrated and disappointed by this as anybody. We are going to extend the contract for another 12 months. As Commissioner Land pointed out, District 21's got its own set of problems that it's got to solve before we can be a good partner to District 4. And now, yet again, in District 4, here we go. We got another problem that we got to solve. So, we're going to extend for 2024. We just want to get both attorneys for both districts caught up on some of the background agreements that have to deal with these, with this annexation, and see if, since both board chairs have gone and said publicly that we're going to extend it, we don't feel like there's a kind of a rush or a panic to get it done. We have a commitment that it's going to happen in 2024. We kind of want to wait and see what this group is going to do, so that we know exactly what we need to write into that agreement and how best the individual boards could respond. All this to say, I think that we will be having an interesting and spirited, good spirited, not opposed to each other, but a good spirited conversation probably in November, when we have a budget study session and kind of combined board meeting, where we'll get everybody in the same room, and I will try to get some clarification from Bellingham, what they're going to offer, as well as we should have a pathway laid for both districts by legal reps by then.
We had discussed,
A long tirade, sorry.
No, that was a great summary. Thank you very much, Chief. I would echo just a couple of things, and then the other two guys can chime in if they'd like to. Definitely leaving a bad taste in my mouth about how this all evolved, particularly with the fact that the signs of this particular group put out were not accurate when they told the taxpayers that we were planning to close the station, which was not true. So in retrospect, it seems a little bit underhanded to me. But as you pointed out, Chief, we have a set of facts now that we have to deal with. And we need to figure out the best way forward for our district taxpayers to get the most for the money that they are paying. And so, yeah, that's what we got to be focused on. Chief, we had talked about, so Bruce Ansel, the chair of the other board, is not available for most of this month. We had discussed, once he gets back, we will send a joint letter to the city of Bellingham requesting a meeting with them, sort of just formally putting them on notice that we have some issues that we need to work out with them. Like you said, those friendly spirited discussions that need to take place. Yeah, but everything else, I think you covered both in what you just said, Chief, and also in your good summary that was in our packet. So, gentlemen, any comments or questions, Mark or Tim, about any of that?
No, I guess not. Probably more to come later.
Yeah, things are a little bit more in flux now, I think, right now. We do, as the chief said, we're covered for next year. We're going to get that agreement done. Our taxpayers will have the service that we promised them, but yeah, it just sort of throws our near term or maybe our more midterm plans into flux at the moment. So yeah, and I'm very interested in getting more information from Mr. Quinn about what our legal options are. And, you know, we kind of got to know what the menu of choices are that we have so that we can decide which way we want to go and when decision time comes. So anything, Tim?
It's disappointing to hear this news.
Yeah.
I agree with the approach to get some legal analysis on this. I also agree it's good that we try to set up some dialogue with the city and the two boards. So
yeah,
I think our response is good at this point. Just disappointing we have to go through this. Yeah.
Oh, and thank you, Tim. You reminded me, Chief touched on it. Yeah, I did ask that we apparently were able to retain Liz Loomis for a little while longer. I'm not clear on what the details are, but I feel strongly, and I'd appreciate your guys' input, that we need to, my gut tells me we need to put something out to our constituents explaining what has happened and in a non pejorative way, just explain to them what has occurred and how that may affect what they just voted on and what our plans are for the future. So I think we need to get some sort of communication out in front of them, however that best can happen. So I'm hoping for some recommendations from Liz and her team on how best to get that message out, which will, of course, we'll all share and approve before we send it out. So,
Yeah, sounds good.
okay.
Yeah, agree.
All right, great. Okay, well, that takes care of the services extension, which again, I think we're going to focus on that when Bruce gets back. Is that right, Chief?
Correct. Yep. Yeah. Once we know a little bit more about legal options and
right.
If there's anything particular we need to put in the agreement for either district based on this annexation thing, which I don't believe there will be, but we just discussed that since we're kind of in uncharted territory, we wanted to have both attorneys look at the current agreement and then the situation going forward with both districts.
Perfect. Okay, great. Anything else? We're already into new business. Anything else on that big subject before we move on at this point?
And Commissioner Land, Commissioner Johnson, I'm happy to, you want a phone call with me and talk more about gory details or where I'm, stuff I've spoken with the attorney about, that would be more appropriate for a phone call. I'm happy to take those calls. So please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, moving on to the second item of new business, which is resolution 2023-03, cancellation of an old check. Is that what that is, Chief?
Yes, sir. It's a check that's never been cashed.
Okay, so we just need to
And
take
this,
action, cancel it.
I think one of the important things is that this was sent to us by the county. Remember, the county handles District 4's, I mean, we provide the warrants and then but the county does the actual bookkeeping type stuff, and that's this is coming from the county.
Okay, great. So we just need to approve this resolution that to consider and then possibly approve the resolution that you've got before us, right?
Yes, sir. And if the county will take care of as this check is made out to Ms. Parks, the former board secretary.
Right.
The county will do all the notification. They do all that part. That doesn't come from this office. So
Okay,
they will take care of all the logistics part.
okay, perfect. So shall I read the resolution so that we can all consider it? All right,
Mhm.
Whatcom County Fire Protection District Number 4, Resolution 2023-03. Ordering the cancellation of warrants, whereas there's a couple of whereases in there, which I don't think, I'll just skim through them. Whereas the RCW section that's listed states that the county legislative authority shall cancel county warrants not presented within 1 year of the date of their issue. And whereas County Administrative Services has provided a list of those warrants that were issued prior to July 1st of 2022, but never presented. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners of Whatcom County Fire Protection District 4 cancel the warrant listed in Exhibit A. Passed and approved this 18th day of September 2023 by the Board of Fire Commissioners of Whatcom County Fire Protection District Number 4. And as you can see in the Exhibit A, it's a check, as the chief mentioned, to Ms. Parks that was written February 10th of 2022 for $327.66. So I would entertain a motion to approve that resolution if there is one forthcoming.
I would move to approve resolution 2023-03.
Great.
Second.
And Mark, second. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion about that? Questions?
Yeah, what,
Yeah.
Jason, do you remember, or as part of this process, do we know what this check was for?
I don't honestly. We were kind of trying to rack our brains and figure out what exactly this was for. And Anita's on a phone call. She's got her door closed, so I can't ask her. Could ask her just what the check is for, what check number. But I don't have it off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Okay, oh, no worries, just wanted to ask.
Just
Yep.
curiosity, yeah. And I'm assuming when we take this action that, like you said, the county will then notify, do they notify Ms. Parks?
Yes, sir. They'll notify Ms. Parks that the check has been, and if it's been canceled in error.
She can
It's a refund of her long-term care insurance. So the long-term care that the state opted us all into, for those of us that are still working, Mr. Land, I'm sure you're familiar with it, but the state, the long-term care scheme, she did an opt-out. She got her own policy. So it's reimbursement of those funds.
Okay. Any other discussions? All right, having a motion and a second, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor of approving resolution 2023-03, please say aye. Aye.
I,
Motion carries 3-0. Resolution 2023-03 is passed. All right, that about wraps it up, but let me get back to the agenda here so that we're on track. Any other new business? Anything anybody wants to talk about or put on the agenda for the next meeting other than these issues that we have already? No? Okay. I didn't see there was.
Chairman?
What's that? Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Chairman, I just was curious. I know last meeting we talked about getting a presentation from Jim Nelson about kind of the ins and outs of the bond that we wanted to take a look at. Is that something we want to put on the next meeting?
Yes, the chief and I talked about that. Did we decide maybe October or November would be good for that?
We could do either Probably October would be better because November we're getting into budget season, and so we can do October. And Commissioner Johnson, just so you know, I quite honestly I kind of called it off because of all the other stuff going on. This was kind of a gut punch, and then then there's been some other stuff. But yes, I'll get that back on the agenda for October.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Yeah, the chief did check with me and asked if we could push that off another month because of this change in developments. So, but you're absolutely right. We need to have that presentation because we still have a responsibility to the constituents that approved our request to start looking at how we're going to replace that equipment and fix the station. So, all right, so we'll put that on the October. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, no, sorry. It just
okay.
occurred to me. I wanted to mention earlier, just so you guys know what I was doing when I had my commissioner hat on. I attended that client appreciation thing that Liz had sponsored whenever it was, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was even a week ago. I don't remember. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I went.
Great. Thank you for going. Yeah. I was not able to, so that's awesome. Okay, so we'll put that other item on the agenda for October that we had dropped off. Let's see. Correspondence, there's nothing listed, but other than that note from the city. And thank you again, Chief, for including all the information from that meeting you went to so that we could look at that.
Yeah, and those pages are from that, and that was put out by the Dyer and Associates, the development consultants.
Gotcha. Perfect. Okay, let's see. That's it. Board meeting is scheduled currently for October 16th. Everybody's still able to make that?
Yep.
And if not, let us know. Okay, great. Good. So please remember to go sign the documents whenever you have an opportunity today. And
yep, if you could shoot me a text or email when you're done, that would be awesome.
Great. And with that, I hope you all have a great couple of weeks, and we are adjourned.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.